All right, welcome to Trout Ninja TV, and thanks for coming over here to check out the Trout Ninja Killer Rig as I promised. After you check out this video, it's going to be a few minutes long. After you check it out, what I want you to do is tell me what you think about it. So this is what we're going to do. This is my top, what I call my bread and butter rig. This is my go-to rig. This is for lake fishing, okay? And so there's several components to this rig. I'm going to show you how to tie it. I'll tell you what the components are. I'll show you how to tie it, and I'll show you how to fish it. You may already have all this equipment in your tackle box right now, and if not, you can buy any of this stuff at your local retailer, Walmart, etc., other tackle shops. In a moment, we're going to go to the tabletop, and we're going to actually show you the actual pieces, and then you're going to see me actually tie this. So here we go. First of all, we'll use my trusty pointer, the Trout. Wow. And we're going to be using a hook. Now, of course, this is gigantic looking because otherwise it doesn't show up on the video. And we're going to be using a hook, and of course right here, we're going to be using a single egg hook, and I'll show you what that is in a moment. We're going to be using a sliding sinker. Of course, this is the gigantic version. The sliding sinker, or an egg sinker, it's hollow in the middle. Why? Because we put your line through it. The line's going to go through it, through here, and out here, and it can slide up and down the line. And I'll explain why in a few minutes. And then over here is a snap swivel. So we're going to use a hook, a sliding sinker, and a snap swivel. And of course we're going to use, you need some fishing line. Fishing line. I'm going to use a real heavy line only so you can see it. But typically, if we're fishing for stock trout, stock trout are going to be half a pound, pound and a half, 2 pounds. So with that said, we're probably going to use 4-pound test on our monofilament line. You could use monofilament, you could use fluorocarbon, whatever you please, okay? So, with that said, let's go ahead and go to the tabletop, and I'll show you how I'm tying it all up. And afterwards, we'll come back here to the whiteboard, and I'll show you how you want to fish this and what kind of bait you might want to use. All right, here we go. Let's go to the tabletop right now. Okay, we are at the fancy tabletop, and what we have over here, and we're going to zoom in just a moment, we have the slip sinker or the sliding egg sinker. We have a couple of hooks. We have a single egg hook, and we also have a treble hook. A treble hook has 3 points. For you experts out there, you already know what I'm talking about. And then over here we have a snap swivel, and then this thing that's swirled around here, this is a heavy line, okay? This is about 14-pound tests. What that means is, allegedly, it can hold something that's 14 pounds in the air, okay? Usually can hold more, but I'm using 14-pound tests, only so you can see the line. Again, typically, I said use about 4-pound tests if you're fishing for fish that are 1, 1.5, 2 pounds, half pound. And, of course, we need a pair of clippers, any kind of clippers that you got available to you, or your teeth, which I try not to use. My orthodontist when I was a kid said don't do that or else you'll screw up your teeth. Fortunately, I didn't break mine, and I still have that bad habit. All right, now I'm going to zoom into each individual piece. I put the penny in here for perspective, all right? That egg sinker right there is made out of lead. In some places, lead is illegal, so you got to check your fishing regulations. You'll notice it's hollow. See the little hole in there? This egg sinker happens to be 1/8 of an ounce. You use the amount of weight necessary to get your line out. You don't need much more unless there's a big current or lots of wind that's blowing things around. Over here we have the 2 hooks. We're only going to use one. I'm going to tie using this single egg hook. This hook right here is a size 10 single egg hook. It's made by a company called Gamakatsu. Gamakatsu is a Japanese manufacturer. These hooks are so sharp you can do surgery with them. They hurt like mad when you stab yourself with them, but hey, it's going to happen. This hook next to it, it's a treble hook. It has 3 points to it. That's about a size 16 treble hook. It is dinky, and it is used to hold typically baits that are like a dough consistency. Some of the floating baits out there and other dough baits. But for our purposes today, we're going to go ahead and use this single egg hook. Now again, the penny's there for perspective. And then we're going to use, where is it here? I'm going to focus in the snap swivel. That's a brass snap swivel right there, and you can see the size, about the size of it compared to the penny. So it's a small one, and I'll explain to you in a moment how that's all going to come together. We have the line, the clippers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand the camera back to my cameraman David, who also happens to be my son. He's trying to get his homework done, and I need him to do this camera work for me. And he's going to focus on my hands while I tie the hook on, because what we're going to do is we're going to cut a piece of line off. And we're going to call this piece of line a leader. And we're going to do some knots here. Watch what goes on. Okay, David, I'm handing this over to you. Okay, you may want to pull out a little bit. Because what I want you to do is look at my hands. I'm going to get a piece of line. I'm going to cut a piece of line about 18 inches. We're going to call this our leader. I don't know if you can even see that, but an 18-inch leader, and then I'm going to put it up on the whiteboard. We'll draw it. So I'm going to, this is the piece that I'm going to cut off. We're going to call it the leader, and this is the piece that we're going to tie to the hook, and we're going to tie it to the swivel. Okay. So first of all, here comes the knot that's going to go on the hook. Okay, so we're making a leader. Now, David, it's probably going to be really difficult to see something like this. It's real tough. And by the way, I have my glasses on because, look, the Trout Ninja is not 15 years old anymore, and I can't see too well. So I'm going to tie this, and again, this is a real heavy line. I'm using an improved clinch nut. There's a lot of different great knots out there. There's Palomar knot, improved clinch nut. There's the uni nut. I think I went around here about 5 times. Then I go through this little loop. I made a loop, and I come in here. We'll have a session on knots some other time. And then what I do, I'm going to stick this near my mouth. I got to put some saliva on here so it'll slide. So here we go. Sorry, the gross scene there. And this should slide, and if it doesn't, I'll use my fingers to pull on it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this in here and pull. Okay, alright, we got a knot. It'll work for our purposes. And we want to trim that end off. Okay, the knot isn't perfect, but it's going to work for right now. Okay, you always want to make sure your knots look great. Alright, otherwise that's where you got a strong fish. Typically when the line breaks, it breaks right at the knot. Okay, so now we have this piece that's about 18 inches long. Okay, now what happens is, this is the separate piece, okay? But the piece that's from your fishing rod, that's coming out of your fishing line, from your reel up through your line, through your rod, and again, we're talking about using this kind of line with a spinning reel, spin cast reel, bait cast reel, not a fly rod, okay? You don't need a fly rod to catch trout, you don't need a boat. So this line's coming out of your fishing rod, and what you're going to do is you're going to slip the egg sinker onto the line like this. Alright, we're going to pretend that this end is attached to your fishing reel going up through your rod. Here, David, pretend like my mouth is the end of the fishing rod and the line is going in. Alright, here we go. Look, the line's going in, okay? So this is the end. Alright? I'm going to try not to mumble. And we slid this on here. Now see how that slides? Oops. See how it slides back and forth? Can you see that? Can they see that, David? Can our fans see that? Okay, excellent. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this swivel to this line right here. I'll tie it like this. Okay. This end, we're going to tie it. I'm going to use the same improved clinch knot. You got to hold this tight because it spins. It's a swivel. It spins, which means it helps your line not end up with twist. Because twist will create knots. And the knots can be a pain in the you-know-what. Alright, now I'm going to cinch that tight. I'm going to wet it. A little saliva there, wet it, and I'm going to clip that